spawning in the upper left on a new map, a gorgeous map here. It's Emberfrost. And in the upper left, in the blue, it's Refresh. And the bottom right, in the red, showcasing the new, I think they're still calling them shrines. I think at one point they were gonna call them Darkholds. The new Infernal base. His name is Snoxtar. And I love that this show match series is functionally 3 Polish guys versus the Korean. Refresh is Haka IPLS. Who is Refresh? Refresh is by far the strongest Korean Vanguard player. I know Pori4 is saying one of the best. I think he is the best. He has played some incredible games versus Snoxtar in previous versions of the game. And honestly, Infernal Vanguard looks awesome. Like when it's at a high level in this patch, from the stuff I saw in the Winter Show match yesterday, it looks great. Snoxtar going for a cheeky little quick expand here before the 3-minute mark, which you can absolutely do. It does mean that you're not gonna have a lot of fighting potential over the first Stormgate. By the way, this is a 3 Stormgate map. Look at the spiral here. Man, Matterino does such a good job with his terrain painting. Yeah, Refresh is a, as Refresh is a monster. Now, losing this effigy early on is a bit annoying, but the Shroud has already been brought around to kind of cover the area, so it's not the end of the world. If there's an immediate push right here, you're a little upset because you do like to have that Shroud forward so you can fight on top of it, but otherwise, not really gonna be that much of a thing. And even if this effigy goes down, the Shrine's done. So there really is not a ton of value in making sure that that happens. Is seeing just a little bit of pressure from Refresh early on here. It's a Lancer into the main base. It's the Scout being annoying as he does have his natural up and running, and it is gonna be the Hog plan. So Snoxtar's response to this is if you notice here, he's gone, yes, he does have a second Vault on the way because it's just kind of hard to spend your money otherwise. But he opened with a pretty quick Ritual Chamber, as a Gaunt will fall down, which is not what you want, but he opens pretty quick Ritual Chamber. And what that means is that you're able to go and get this, what's it called? The Soulbound Chakrams upgrade pretty early, which means that if you're on Shroud, your Gaunts actually do apply Curse, which it used to be by default, but now this is a 25, 30-second upgrade that is also, of course, gated behind getting a Ritual Chamber. So it comes out a little bit slower. You can still technically have it for the first Stormgate if you rush it, like we saw Snoxtar do, but it does slow your economy down. You know, a little bit, right? You're mining a lot more off Ethereum earlier on than you might otherwise like to, which means that you're mining less Luminite early on than you would like to, which does slow your economy. Citizen Snip saying, yeah, if Stormgate takes off in Korea, we're done for. I mean, there's no genetic algorithm that means that Koreans are better than the West. It's just they had so much time of like, just the institutional training camp, boot camp, and grinding of getting really good at Brood War that kind of carried over into some other things. But I am excited. I'm thinking of running. So by the way, shout out to Frost Giant Studios for making, I forgot to run giveaways during the break. That's my bad. Shout out to Frost Giant Studios for providing the prize pool in this one, but I am gonna try to run a Korean tournament at some point. We do have the Korean tournament on Friday. That is Control's thing. That is, I believe, MC's there in the semifinals. I'm assuming Refresh is there. I haven't taken a look at the bracket, but that should be pretty cool. But problem is, Control, it's his tournament, but he's not playing in it, and he's the best Infernal player in Korea at the moment. So we're gonna run something, and we're gonna try to get all the best, you know, Korean players. Anyone, like, if you're good from Oceania, maybe we'll get you in there. Maybe beat you in there as well. Thanks for the 10 gifted subs saying, put this map on the ladder right now. Yep, yeah, I'm down with that. We're running a map contest right now, and I believe the games are gonna get played on Saturday or Sunday. And we're gonna go just say, hey, Frost Giant, these maps are the best maps. Go ahead them in. Now charge is done, so these Hedgehogs gotta run here. That's the timing. That's why Snoxstar's been playing like this. You open up Gaunts early because brutes just get clicked down by all the hogs, and then you just buy time until you get to Infernal Fury. And at which point it becomes a little bit harder to kite. Not impossible, as we're seeing right here. The fight's still kind of okay for Refresh, but it's no longer just this free harass, good luck, you're just not allowed to play the game if you're an Infernal player. So Refresh is going to get forced backwards as Snoxstar getting himself up likely to tier 3 pretty quickly. All right, we do have one Twilight Spire on the way. Tried to click on it, couldn't find it, but one Twilight Spire on the way. And by the way, Reaper Rush is done. So Gaunt's now able to chase things down. 35% bonus movement speed matters quite a bit. It's very nice. As we got a 4th base on the way as well. You know, ideally you're using an effigy to get this started, but actually he might have used a temporary effigy to go get a tribute pyre. One of the big nerfs, by the way, that Infernal got in the most recent patch is that when they go and drop an effigy, it's a 25-second cooldown now, reduced by 20 seconds if it's on Shroud. So you can no longer chain effigies off Shroud and be fine with it. It is something that is punishable, and the hogs are going to show up. Snoxstar, this was when he was going to go try to get room on the second Stormgate, but instead, it's not really what you want to do, and he's just going to get, it will be a cancel, okay. So no kill, but it is a cancel on this 4th base, which is unfortunate. Now, okay, yes, the hogs do have room to move. I thought they might have gotten themselves into a corner. Not super familiar with this map just yet, but plenty of room to run. They get the 4th base here. That is going to be very nice, but there is this drop on the other side of the map. A bunch of Gaunts ran in. Looks like the Harbinger was taken out. Nope, never mind. Harbinger's there. Gaunt drop on the other side. It gets a couple workers, but not too many. This second Stormgate is about a 1/3 of the way done. No one's really interested in claiming it right now, and Snoxstar now on the other side of the map here. The Repairmatic doing a decent job of keeping some of these hedgehogs alive. This army though is a bit scary, and we do have Molten Touch on the way for Hellborn eventually, should you need it. But this attack right now from Snoxstar is a bit dicey here, although we do have a Repairmatic doing a very nice job on this 3rd base. The Concave from Refresh is very tasty, especially with the Rampart at the front, keeping some, I believe it kept the Repairmatic alive a little bit longer than it otherwise would have. And now I'm hearing Vulcans getting at it in as well. They shred Gaunts in this game. This feels like a very nice hold from Refresh for right now. And while this may not mean that the second Stormgate's going to get claimed, this was a lot of money that Snoxstar committed into this. Is the Harbinger going to get brought back in once again. And there we go. A little bit of pressure on the Therium mining here, and Hogs got to be careful. Dragon also getting started. It takes forever though. It is a 2-second build time. It is not 2 seconds. It's 120 seconds. It's a 2-minute build time to get this dragon up on the map. As the Stormgate, by the way, was not claimed. So that's why we saw Snoxstar not really playing around with it all that much. Or whether, I guess why we saw Snoxstar going for that bit of aggression as Gaunt will fall. You do have to be careful of these hogs, have to kite away. Of course, with the Repairmatic, they're largely fine. As Fiend Explosion is getting started, which means you get 1 more Fiend than you normally would. So 3 instead of 2 if you split at 90%, 2 instead of 1 if you split otherwise. But for the most part, the hogs are staying alive. Looks like a couple units died. Suboptimal. You did get a couple Phantoms, but for the most part, Snoxstar is able to, or Refresh is able to hold on. And in the middle of the map here, as the battle mech, or as the mech build continues to grow up, we have Atlases on the way, which Atlas evac is my favorite thing. I think it really is the coolest bit of micro that we see in the game. So for now, 4th base done. Almost getting fully saturated here by Snoxstar, but there's a bunch of pressure showing up, and we will eventually get into Miasma. For right now, it's Forsaken Traps. That's going to get started. And I'm sorry, not Miasma. Necrotic Hex. As this setup here is really good. Molten Touch is so good in this composition, because what it does, not only does it go and do bonus damage, it reduces healing by 50%. So it means these nanoswarms that make it almost impossible to kill this army. Otherwise, all of a sudden, it's actually manageable, as we will see a bunch of these Forsaken Traps get dropped down here eventually. But the army's gonna move forward even still. Yeah, sure, there's a curse on top. The Vulcans think they can get something done. Answer is that they can't. That is a crazy move from Refresh. Dashes in, but could not get on top of the Cellborn on the high ground. And now the Dragon's here as well, doubling up the Phantoms that are getting made, sucking down all of the curse. You're doing 25% damage on top of everything. Now that means this third Stormgate is absolutely going to go the way of Snoxtar as Bison Boy and Petraco. Thank you so much for the Prime subs, guys. But yeah, unfortunately, if you are a Vanguard fan, Refresh overextended just a little bit there. Now he's got to go lick his tail between his legs. What are we going to get? Yeah, okay, you get 3 dragons. Absolutely. Well, nope. Never mind, he Power Stoned it. I assumed that was going to be a Soul Forge. By the way, you can only Power Stone. Power Stone does not stack anymore. You cannot triple avatar things, but Refresh is dead anyways. This is game number 1, back and forth. But Snoxtar clutches it out. Game 1 goes the way of Snoxtar. Although, anyway, we're moving into game 2 here. Scarlet Isle, another Auriel map. Haka IPL, I actually liked Mission 7 more than 8. I know people are saying really good things about Mission 8, but Mission 7 was the platform mission. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, my problem with Mission 8 was I found one of the bonus objectives. I knew where the other one was, like it shows on the map. I just could not find how to get into it. And you're under so much pressure that it's just like, this is not working. But yeah, Mission 7 was, you had dropship micro, you had like cool moving platforms that you gotta control with your top bar abilities. You got attacks coming in from 3, like stressing multitasking. I got to the end of it and almost died because I didn't expect the boss to be as strong as it was. Like, oh man, it was good. Yeah, I found the right one, Turlock. I couldn't find the left one, but now that you mention it, I should have just brought evac with me and done that. How do you deal with Infernal losing workers to build? I got full saturation. 10 seconds later, I'm running on empty. Build more workers. 3-year quest. Infernal do build workers faster than the other factions. Oh, you cheesed the end of it? Nice. I got one of the bosses down to very low. Oh, you're talking about Mission 7. Yeah, I'm not building, for the campaign missions, I'm not building enough static defense, I don't think, is we're gonna see the new improved, so Shroudstone last patch was bad. It had attacked every 1.6 seconds. It was bad. It built forever, just not very good. But not only have they upgraded the animations of the Shroudstone, not only have they done that, it now attacks every 1.3 seconds. So it got a pretty significant buff. Most of Infernal's got nerfed, but the Shroudstone in particular did get a little bit of a buff, which I like. Oh no, never mind. That's the Soul Brand Chakrams, which that feels like maybe some reused art. Because I looked at it, I'm like, oh wait, there's no way we're at Miasma at 3.5 minutes, or like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. But Soul Brand Chakrams are now done, so the gods can apply Curse on Shroud. Very important. Yeah, and so I'm like trying to talk about the campaign in very loose terms, like talking about mechanics, unless you also consider consider talking about mechanics also campaigns world, then I'll stop entirely. I figured talking about, oh, you know, stress multitasking was kind of safe enough. But for now, first Stormgate's gonna get claimed. And by the way, they did change the way the graphic works here. It used to be, it was red versus blue. And, red would try to fill red, blue would try to fill blue. Now it is red versus, or it's color versus white. So whoever's done the most damage has the color in there. And that color is trying to fill it up to full. Now my Western-centric, as Soulforge is gonna go and give us a couple more hedgehogs. My Western-centric brain wants to go from left to right, fill from left to right. But you know what? That's fine. I suppose that is manageable. Now, Gremlin's starting to get made here. They do, if you've watched them sometimes in their passive animations, they do a little dance sometimes, and it's pretty fun. But Tribute Pyre's now ready to go. These Gremlins have a surprisingly long leash range. I always am surprised how far they go, especially because they did get an attack buff. 1.5 seconds, 8 damage every 1.5 seconds is not horrible. I mean, better to have actual units, but as a kind of, when you get a bunch of tribute fires around a base, it does make it, it does give you some pretty nice defense. So now Twilight Spire on the way. Snoxtar, by the way, in the break asked me if he could clone dragons. And I said, yes, you can. Because I think it's been nerfed enough on multiple ways where it's not as quite oppressive. Here's, oh, Hedgehogs are gonna go find the Harbinger. I think, yep, they, goodbye. Gaunts are gonna go, they're gonna get marooned here. Harbinger dies. That is a very nice pickup there from Refresh. That's all the map presence that Snoxtar wanted to find as he builds time for this 4th base, buys time to go get himself the Elder Shrine, eventually one would assume. But losing that means this is a bit of a problem now with all the Gremlins that are here. It's not super easy to attack into this position, and we'll have to kite back for the time being. As by the way, this Shroud is fake. It's a bug. It's a viewer bug because the Harbinger went down. But now Refresh feels very unlocked on the map right now to do pretty much whatever he wants. Killing off that Harbinger was a decent amount of Therium that Snoxtar would have loved to use to turn into anything else. So for now, kiting away, you're trying to get through this front line of brutes so you can eventually go and take down the Hellbourne. Right? That's kind of the big scary thing right now. You get on top of the Gaunts as well, but the trades are good. And behind this, Vulcan's getting added in, Refresh is on 3 bases, and he's expanding forward, which is what you want to do. It means that your rally defends your attack, or your rally defends your bases. It means it just means that your production's also going to be a little bit further forward.
Rift detected.
And that can be very, very nice. So now we're going to see the Hedgehogs get on top. One Hellbourne's going to go down. North side is going to kill off all the brutes. South side, maybe not quite as good here, but this fight is going tremendously well for Refresh. He's going to take down everything here. This drop from Refresh, from Snoxtar, was supposed to be the pressure release valve. Instead, you lost so much Therium. And the pressure just got started. Refresh cuts everything down, wins game 2. Here we are, it's game number 3. We're tied up at 1 game apiece. Game 1, we saw Snoxtar take some damage, hold on, and have a really nice dragon timing. Do everything that he needed to do, and eventually kind of win this fight. Game 2, Snoxtar tried to go for a Harbinger drop once again, put some pressure, like buy some time to get up to his next stuff, and got caught out. And immediately here, Refresh dove on top of him, took him down, and that was that. Isn't late game not really a thing anymore because of Stormgates? I have seen some very cool late game swords. So the answer is no. Late game is pretty cool. Yeah, Storm Warrior. Hey man, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. There's a couple Fiends here. So Fiends were nerfed, or Brutes were nerfed, or whatever you want to talk about it. Were nerfed quite a bit in that they now, Fiends were buffed, Brutes were nerfed, turning into Fiends, is maybe the way you talk about that one. Where you only get 1 Fiend if the Brute dies below 90% HP. So if you manually split the Brute, you get 2 Fiends, otherwise you're gonna get 1 Fiend. In exchange, they do a lot of damage. They now do 12 damage. If they're on Shroud, they actually, funnily enough, there's a bug right now where they do 7 damage on Shroud. Was there a bracket for that? Yes, there was. I'm not sure if they put it in Wikipedia. But there was definitely a bracket for it. But now with the Lancer out, Fiends are going to run away. Now, technically, if you're really on top of things, these 2 Fiends can kill a Lancer. Now, it's not a guarantee. Theoretical physics. Yeah, you know, Frost Giant, they are many things. but the community is always going to make better maps. So we have Edge of Oblivion. I pretty much expect to see it, expect to see it vetoed like the entire time, but Edge of Oblivion is in the pool. It's the only official ladder map that's in the pool for this show match. Everything else is showing off the full custom maps. The community is absolutely cooking with the custom maps. They're doing a really good job. They're doing such a good job with the custom maps.
Detected.
It looks more like an RTS. The first second I opened the stream, I was like, why in the world does it say Stormgate, but they stream StarCraft? Then I watched better, and it's Stormgate. Yeah, it's funny. I saw some people at Winter stream last night like, oh, it looks like a mobile game. And it's like, well, first of all, show me those mobile games because I'm sure I'd like to play them. It just looks good. You know, it's like if you're saying if there are mobile games that look as mobile games have improved quite a bit. So sure, fine. I really enjoy the way that the graphics of Stormgate now. It's kind of jarring to look back to where it started at early access, but as of right now, I think Alan has done an incredible job. And yeah, you know, Celestials don't have their beauty sleep just yet. We're still waiting on that one, but otherwise, it's pretty cool. So for now, first Stormgate is gonna be refreshes. Snoxtar's not even really interested in contesting it. And realistically, second and third Stormgate are probably better anyways. So it's gonna be ooh, Shadowmark's a really good one. I saw a bunch of people in Winter's chat yesterday complaining about how strong it was, but the Shadowmark is a relic that you can go use to cast an ability on any one of your structures, and then in an AoE, everything around there produces researches 40% faster. So it can be very strong, as we're gonna see the Shadowmark used on this mech bay. Increased construction speed, production speed, recharge rate. So you get more. Oh, unfortunately, command. Should have done on this one, I think. Command post is not going to get it. But the Biolab somehow gets it, even though the... Never mind, Biolab doesn't. So all these structures will produce 40% faster. Or habitate 40% faster. Something like that. They have also committed, yes, as Type Aerodub says, they have committed to adding custom maps onto the ladder. It's just not here yet. Hogs are going to dive in, seeing what they can find. And remember, because of the Shadowmark setup, there's not like an immediate power surge from refresh. He's not immediately going to be going, and I love this. We got Solar Habitat plus Shadowmark. These Vulcans are building so fast. But Snoxtar is on the other side of the map here. This is the Infernal Fury timing that he's trying to hit. He's got himself Soulbrand Chakrams. He's got himself Infernal Fury. And this is kind of a scary timing. So we're going to see a sentry post go down. I don't know if it's going to get up in time here. And the entire army of Refresh on the other side of the map dealing with the reinforcements, which is what you want to do into timings like this. As the Vulcan's now starting to get added in that much more. Repairmatic doesn't get down. And oh, it's going to get shielded as well. It actually is surviving. It's keeping a lot of these bombs or these servos around. And with the overcharge as well, they're pretty tanky. They got 50 bonus armor. So they take about... 2/3 as much as HP as or damage as they normally would. And Refresh holds this with flying colors, with the Exos, with the Vulcans, with the Hedgehogs. This was a scary timing from Snoxtar. But with the Hedgehogs going in and cutting off a lot of the reinforcements, the Vulcans there, and the defense there with a Rampart shielding up the turret, and the Vulcans getting added in. Refresh just makes that look easy. Well, the Solar Habitat ability get buffed to no, Frank Sriracha, because it's not a production. It's not a build, research, or charge based thing.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
Solar plus Shadowmark buffs things it makes you produce pretty quickly. Is it a pattern in which Stormgate locations become active, or is it random? It is 100% random, Jiao James.
Stormgate has appeared.
My recency bias, or my not recency bias, my whatchamacallit bias, tells me that it duplicates more often than it should, but you know, there's a 20% chance you get the same Stormgate 2 times in a row. So 50 supply difference already. It's not confirmation bias. It's maybe it is confirmation bias. Boost does not time out. The way you kill the boost is you kill the structure. It might actually have to, you might have to kill each structure individually as well. I wish the Shadow Mark, instead of being something like this, I wish the relic would like plant a flag that was snipeable, like 200 HP, which a relic is, and then you can snipe that and take it out. Instead of it just being this buff that applies to all of these structures. I think that would be more, regardless of balance, I think that would be more interesting to play around. This army now is very scary. Lots of med techs, lots of exos, lots of Vulcans, and we are not here just yet. We are not at, I don't think we're at tier 3. Yeah, tier 3 is not done, so no Molten Touch, no ability to really cut down on the mining. I like this though. A lot of Spriggans getting added in. Did notice that one. Hedgehog's not anti-air mode, but there are a decent amount of exos, and you have to go get on top of these exos to make things get taken down. Miasma's doing a pretty good job, I think. No, Miasma's not done yet. Never mind. That's just Shroud, but unfortunately, damage too much, damage too strong. Refresh is gonna be able to go up 2 games to 1 in this best of 5. Map number 4, another map by Matterino. It's Short Circuit. Pretty cool map. It has, I like what he's been doing here, where he's on a lot of his maps. I don't think we're doing a Rotfire Veil, unfortunately. I did not see that one added in time, but he's going and making the Stormgates feel really like they're part of the map. Like you can see on this one, you can see some cables going into and around it. There's another map that is, there's another map that he's made that's kind of a similar vibe that is not this. That has like cables going to it and everything, and it's like doing a lot of research, which is super cool. But what makes me very excited about this map is for right now, you can take a look at the edge and say, ah, look at these asteroids. And that's really cool. But skyboxes are now enabled in custom maps, and that means that we should be able to see like a planet below this platform now, which is very exciting. But is the circuit short? Well, technically, the circuit is 1 day, Filibuster, so yeah, I guess it is kind of short. Yeah, Matterino is kind of goated. But yeah, sorry, skyboxes have always been enabled, but skyboxes below the map is the thing that was enabled. Because they needed that for some of the campaign missions. So like, okay, we're gonna add this in, and that functionality is per what Tim was telling me, the interview that I published yesterday. That is now available. That is now something that you can just kind of play with. That is available in the editor because they had to add the functionality. And again, this map with like a great big planet below it. Oh yeah. Matt's curious, why do people want to make Stormgate feel look like StarCraft 2? Wouldn't the variety make it more fun to watch? You definitely have a lot of people that are just, and it's funny because I'm kind of in this boat as well, where there are people that are RTS fans. There are people that are Blizzard RTS fans, or, Age RTS fans. And then it's like, well, am I a big RTS fan, or do I just like Blizzard RTS? And I'm kind of finding more and more that I'm more in the second camp than in the first, or that I'm in the I like Blizzard RTS games. So you have a lot of people that are like, okay, well, StarCraft is not getting supported anymore. I want to see StarCraft get actively supported, like by development time. So I'm just gonna, I want Stormgate to be StarCraft. That's a lot of the logic there. Nope, Algorithm War, it is this morning. Hello. But I would argue that Stormgate is sufficiently different enough from StarCraft 2, where, they're taking some of the things that we know how to do well, like this observer overlay is very much kind of what they do in StarCraft 2. It looks great. The observer overlay is there. Unit sizing, it's a Blizzard style RTS game. StarCraft doesn't have a Stormgate, the units are different. Some of the mechanics are different. Charges are a thing, right? In Stormgate and StarCraft that are not in Stormgate, they're not in StarCraft. There's a bunch of different things, right? For the game, it's not a StarCraft clone. It's not a Warcraft clone item. But, you know, there's also a reason that people say, yeah, I want more StarCraft stuff, because StarCraft is, in my view, the greatest RTS that's ever been made. I hope Stormgate gets to that point. It's had a lot less time to develop, as the first Stormgate is going to get claimed by Refresh. It's going to be a Soulforge. So probably just getting yourself 2 more Hedgehogs is what I would assume the goal is here. Yep, 2 more Hedgehogs. There we go. Yeah, as Rusty says, also on the input side of things, there is so much tech that Stormgate has that I'm like, man, it makes it hard for me to go back and play StarCraft. Like the quick macro panel is just, it feels so good. Auto hotkey feels so good. And now with the Infernal Fury done here, this is when you have to start to kite away, but it's a decent cooldown. Infernal Fury, it's like a 20-second cooldown, I think it is. So once you trigger all the charges, it is something where Snoxtar, he's got to run back a little bit. Does have to be careful. I hope they figure out some way to make observers' lives easier natively. That would be huge. Well, the observer, this observer overlay, Storm Warrior, is native. If you just, whenever you open up a replay or you're live observing, you have this overlay. Now, I would love to be able to eventually get the functionality where I can see the perspective of anyone in the lobby, not just the players, so I could just have someone else observing for me, which would be great because I'm not the best observer. But you know, they do have an observer mode already. Eventually, they're going to have like different tabs. I'm assuming. I mean, again, the guy that made GameHeart is the lead UI guy, the lead UX guy, I think technically, in Stormgate. So it's going to get there. Did I learn the names for every upgrade due to 15p? A lot of them. There are some that have either changed names, like the, technically it's the ability, not the upgrade, but like the Hexen upgrade, which was Hexen Adept, Hexen Adept training, Hexen Mastery training. But at one point it was Poison Trap and Miasma. Now it is Forsaken Trap and Necrotech Hexfield. So some of the abilities have changed. I'm not totally on top of that, but for the most part, we have them down.
Stormgate will activate soon.
As here's the drop going across the map. Refresh caught this in game number 2 and effectively won the game off of it. This time though, looks like it will find its way onto the 4th base on the other side of the map. It's a couple brutes, a bunch of gaunts here, and you're just trying to go get those phantom conversions ASAP, take everything down, and this could snowball very quickly if you don't respond to it properly. So that's, I think, 3 or 4 servos getting taken down immediately. Then you pick up, unfortunately, he put a gaunt, he put a phantom in there. So one brute's gonna have to run away, but already this is so nice because this is buying time for Miasma. This is buying time for pretty much anything else that you would want. This is just keeping Refresh back at home as we're at this second Stormgate timing. So Refresh is building some sentry posts to go contest this thing pretty hard, but the funny thing is this is not something that Snoxtar is properly contesting. He's just waiting for his Elder Shrine, which I wish show up in the production tab, and fortunately it doesn't, but he's just waiting for the Elder Shrine. He's not saving up for the Dragon just yet. Oh, this is... It seems like the bottom bar for the most part has been fixed so it accurately shows who's top, who's bottom, but blue, it's swamped. But okay, there we go. There's Molten Touch on the way. Necrotic Hexfield's gonna be done soon. And that does mean this army that is being made is gonna be very difficult for Refresh to fight into. But the other good news is that we are solidly into a macro game now. 8.5 minutes in, we're all on 4 bases here. We're eclipsing 200 supply. That's exactly what we're looking for. So I think, oh, please get an evac here. I don't see it. He's not making them just yet, but man, getting an evac micro is just really cool in general. And dropping Necrolytes with evacs seems ideal, as we're gonna see the Necrotic Hexfields go down, and if this is you take 10x curse. It does so much damage. As I'm just now realizing how close the "you came through a Stormgate" effect is, and the "oh, you're cursed" effect is. It looks very similar. We're going to see if I kick off here. Necrotic Hexfield's going down once again. And you would love to see some sort of system shock on these med decks. Just the Purge being able to go and retreat away and have some fun there. But for right now, rotating over, cutting through a lot of these gremlins. Tribute Pyres are going to get taken down. Snoxtar actually going to find himself a little bit supply block. Every single Tribute Pyre is now 15 supply, not 10. And one Necrolyte, two Necrolytes. Get some decent trades here, not the best ones. And these Hex Fields forcing Refresh back quite a bit, but now they're not on top of the army anymore until right now, so he continues to kite backwards here. But this is still very awkward. He's fighting on two fronts. He's losing on two fronts. He doesn't have the Sentinels in his army just yet, so he doesn't have that move speed advantage you like to find. And with no system shock, no way to purge all these curses either. Okay, Sentinels are here now. They do have a couple Stacies to try to go lock down some of the backline units, but this army from Refresh, it has to run away. It's got to retreat. Does have haste spot dispersal, so they run a little bit faster. Without system shock, it's not that much faster. And by the way, Quick Draw also wasn't even done, so now Shroudfall is going to go down across the entire map here as Snoxtar forces his opponent back pretty significantly. And with the movement speed that you have on the Phantoms, on the Brutes and on the Gaunts, it's a difficult thing to run away from, but Shroudfall will be done soon. Now the 10.5 minute Stormgate going to get started pretty quickly here as our Dragon's about halfway done. He's dropping the left side. Not really doing much.
A Stormgate has appeared.
But Refresh, he's on 4 bases, 1 to 5 bases. Okay. 5 bases on the side of Snoxtar. So the economy going a little bit better for Snoxtar right now, but the supply is still very even. And now Quick Draw Hustle's getting added in. Now the evacs are getting made, finally. Is this survival? Oh, that's not survival. Where are my Lancers? It's not survival protocol, it's mitigative guard, which means you take every bit of damage you take is reduced by 2. It's very strong as the tier 3 upgrade. I'm pretty sure. I'm not used to the new. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's mitigative guard that's getting researched. They changed a bunch of the. They changed a bunch of the icons. So I'm not totally used to those just yet. But the big deal is Nano Bubble. It's just about done. And that means every unit inside of it takes 75% less range damage. So it can be very strong into the Dragon, into these Gaunts, into these Hellborn. It's a very nice solution. And oh, by the way, we're getting Helicarriers too. This is the late game we were looking for. So now we got an Atlas here, sieged up, ready to go. A lot of damage. No upgrade just yet. Does not have Plasma Arc Infusion. So doesn't just burn things down, but we gotta take a fight here. A little bit awkward. Triple Dragon. That was the tier 3 Stormgate, but okay, no, just gets targeted down immediately. I was gonna say their stations, they're being brought back a little bit, but you gotta be very careful. The army comes swarming in. Nano Bubble not getting it dropped in time, and this is not a position that Refresh wants to be in. The Triple Dragon was a problem. This army is very low, but it's not quite low enough. The drops aren't quite gonna be there. Stasis gets targeted down way too fast. Now, without any stacked events to get back to, it feels like Snoxtar is just running over this situation. Now, I did tell Snoxtar that Triple Dragon was legal because it takes so long to get there, and I thought maybe if you get up to tier 3 Stormgate, it's probably legal. And we're gonna see if that is true. But for right now, that Triple Dragon timing, Snoxtar overcommitting into this base and getting fully flanked was a big problem. So for now, yes, the Lancers, they're taking a little too less damage per attack. That's something. There are Helicarriers out of the map as well, but they're just not getting the damage that they've done. The bombing run did not find the damage that it needed. And now the Helicarriers, or I guess the Hurricanes, there we go. They're gonna get taken down. This game goes to Snoxtar. I don't see a way that he's gonna be able to hold on anymore. And that means that we get to go to game number 5. Refresh oversteps a couple times. Snoxtar punishes. And we get to go to game 5 of this best of 5. We're now into game number 5 of this best of 5, the second series of the day. It's Snoxtar, it's Refresh, and we are on Rebirth, which is a map that has a single Stormgate. It is technically a 2v2 map, but I just think it looks pretty. You can play it as a 1v1 map as well. So this one, there's one ramp. You get 2 bases in the main base. It's kind of like a different take on Scarlet Isle, if you want to think about it like that. where you can go and go for this double expand pretty easily. Oh, you just noticed Emberfrost displayed has the wrong textures. Matterino, if you want to host up Emberfrost briefly for me, I did pull Emberfrost Final. Matterino, I did pull that from the, I downloaded it, I built it. And I'm not sure, it's also still showing in my UI as unnamed map. So I'm not sure so there's something weird where it's like not overriding properly or something. So if you have a current version of it, if you'd be around to like host it up for me after this game, that would be awesome. So we can at least have it correct for the rest of the games that get played. So for now, quick expands coming out from both players, which is what you want to do when the map is big and you kind of get a free pocket base. So we've had, that was the late game it wasn't like the super back and forth late game. And I do think there was a glaring lack of system shock that allows you to play around the hex fields a little bit better. But overall, great big late games, really cool stuff. Hopefully we get another one of those. As we're looking forward to it. By the way, I love that, like, I don't know, what do you want to call this? Like Gila monster skin that we have on this map? I think it looks pretty cool. Honestly, like, take a look at this area, this mottled black and red stone texture in the middle of the map, and this this setup right here. I think it looks gorgeous, which is why I picked it. I don't know how it's gonna work from a competitive balance perspective. There's a single Stormgate that is potentially abusable. You get 2 bases for free, but I think it looks really pretty, and that's all that matters. Poriforian saying it looks like chunky meat. Pori, if that's what your chunky meat looks like, it's probably spoiled and you should throw it away. This is not what meat should look like, Pori. This is food poisoning, Pori. Nori's saying, I think one Stormgate's probably bad, but visually it looks great. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. One Stormgate might be too easy to camp. Might not be. I don't know. For now, though, we do have... Oh, Soulbound Chakram's not done yet. So the Hogs dive in. They just kill off the Gaunts. That's already a pretty nice trade because once the Gaunts are down, the Hogs can just kind of kill the rest.
Has appeared.
So now the kiting is going to continue. And the nice thing about this, if you are a Refreshed fan, is you can go and just kind of rally through and take the first Stormgate down with your units while you put a lot of pressure on the other side of the map. Yeah, but yeah, Guillotine did cook with this map terrain. It looks profoundly alien. I could believe like some stony desert area on Earth, maybe. But for now, a lot of Gaunts and Brutes are going to show up here, and they should be able to... Wait, Infernal Fury's done? Yeah, I did notice. That's my bad. Infernal Fury is done quickly in this game. So this is kind of a 0.5 type build where you get the upgrades down very quickly at the expense of getting your third base up. And even still, Infernal Fury, not enough to break this down. The kite job from Refresh is really solid. So, a couple more stuns, sure, but the damage is just not following up here. There are not enough effigies. Snoxtar committing into this 2-base all-in very heavily, and it's just not killing what it needs to kill. It might get a couple hogs at the end from the curse, maybe. This one might tick down. No, it's not gonna. This one, 9-7. Yeah, none of them are gonna tick down right now, so the damage is still there. Now they're gonna tick down a little bit, but Refresh is up 20 supply. He has more damage here. Infernal Fury actually gets baited out on the Stormgate a little bit. This is just not a good position for Snoxtar, even if he gets the Stormgate, which is, you know, a maybe at this point. It's actually going to time out very soon. He has lost so much of his army to make that happen. The Brutes continue to run in. They just get kited down. They're not killing anything. The Fiends pop out. They're dying as well. And this Stormgate will remain unclaimed. So Snoxtar committed into this so hard to get the Stormgate. And he's just lost everything. And this effigy is a 5 HP effigy. It does not last long enough to go get a second one up. So now we're also in this situation where there is not enough energy. There's what, there are like 2 effigies available for these fights. It's not a lot. Third base is on the way, and it's very far out of here, so you can't really rally imps over to it super well either. This is a fantastic game for Refresh. Having higher effigy cooldown really impacts how Infernal fights across the map. It really does. And I think it's good, Turlog. It's nice. Like, you want to fight on Shroud, but you were just getting like free permanent effigies all over the place in the last patch, and that just didn't feel good. The counterplay didn't matter. And what I hope we're going to see here, and we're not there just yet, but what I really hope we're going to see is more play around Harbingers and the Harbinger drop upgrade, which Due215P was asking. That's an upgrade I don't have memorized because I don't get it enough. But the slam down upgrade, whatever that is called, is now diving on top of the effigy. Very nicely done. Here more units will fall. There's going to be 3 lashes, not even 3 lashes, not enough energy on these Weavers right now. So the concave is good. Everything is dying. And Weavers, while they can be a decent answer to Hedgehogs, you can go lash them in and make sure they don't run. They're pretty squishy, all things considered. They only have 380 HP, and we got this number of hogs. They're getting taken down. Snoxtar, I think he's dead, yeah. Snoxtar falls down. Refresh moves on to the winners match. Snoxtar into the losers. And of course, if you like this, you want more Stormgate action, make sure to go sub to the channel. Follow me on Twitch. I'll catch you next time.